Hey, shalom, everybody. It's good to be here. Good to be with y'all, playing a game and talking about some stuff in the Bible tonight. It's gonna be good. I've been busy with a lot of things, doing a lot of stuff, so it's been really crazy and busy with all with life. You know, life can just get that way. But anywho, let's go ahead and pray real quick before we get started, and then we'll go ahead and start reading over here in Joshua chapter 8. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more so that way it's hopefully not as small if you're if you're watching on a phone and stuff. So, anyway, let's see. Where are we at? All right. Lord God, we thank you for the day that you have given us. Lord, I ask that we would hear from you, do as you have asked, and that we would follow along with what you have to say in your word, and that we would grow closer to you by reading it and understanding it, and that we would carry that understanding through in our daily lives and bless those around us each and every day, as you have requested, that we would be a light to those around us as well. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. So last chapter, we were talking about the Achan's sin and how he was dealt with and what was happening there with them being unfaithful, and, well, specifically him being unfaithful, and how that one failure ruined everything for the rest of the Israelites. So we're going to go ahead and get into the next part. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Take the whole of the army with you, and go up and attack Ai, for I have delivered into your hands the king of Ai, his people and his city and his land. You shall do to Ai and its king as you did to Jericho and its king, except that you may carry off their plunder and livestock for yourselves. Set an ambush behind the city." Okay, so there's clearly a difference between what's going on with Ai and what happened with Jericho. I don't know exactly the reason why God said, "Yeah, you can take their stuff and keep it, and you can take their livestock as well." Um, oops. There is a reason that they're allowed to this time as opposed to last time. So I'm not sure exactly what the difference is, but there is clearly a difference here. Okay, so Joshua and the whole army moved out to attack Ai. He chose 30,000 of his best fighting men and sent them out at night with these orders. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. You are to set an ambush behind the city. Don't go very far from it. All of you be on the alert. And I and all those with me will advance on the city, and when the men have come out against us, as they did before, we will flee from them. They will pursue us until we have lured them away from the city, for they will say, "They are running away from us, as they did before." So when we flee from them, you are to rise up from ambush and take the city. The Lord your God will give it, hi kitty, into your hand. When you have taken the city, set it on fire. Do what the Lord has commanded. See to it. You have my orders. Yes, I have a cat who she likes it when I sit at the desk, so she gets really pushy about wanting attention. And sometimes it's because she's hungry and wants food in her dish, because this is purring and asking for attention, is yes, that is my microphone. That is how she asks for attention. That's how she asks for food. So then Joshua sent them off, and they went to the place of ambush and lay in between Bethel and Ai to the west of Ai. But Joshua spent the night with the people. Okay, so let's give you a little bit of a geographical bit of insight here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so here's Ai and here's Bethel. This is only like a couple of miles apart. Okay, so a majority of the army, the Israelite army, was hanging. Did it again. Was hanging out up here, like right over here. But Joshua and his men were hanging out right here, between the two. Between, oh wait, Bet-El. I think that's supposed to be Bethel. Because and this is where they were hanging out. This is where he was hanging out, and this is where some of the army was. So when the king of Ai saw it, and he's like, "Oh, let's just go clean them up again," and then they started running northward, and the rest of his men are hanging out over here. So they're going to come and attack from the other side. So that's functionally what's happening. And to give you a good idea of where this is where Jerusalem is. This is where Bethlehem is. And this is only like a couple of miles apart. So this is probably only like a couple of miles apart as well. So early next morning, Joshua mustered his army, and he and the leaders of Israel marched before them to Ai. The entire force that was with him marched up and approached the city and arrived in front of it. Oh, sorry. They set up camp north of Ai, with the valley between them and the city. Joshua had taken about 5,000 men and sent them in ambush between Bethel and Ai to the west of the city. So the soldiers took up their positions with the main camp to the north of the city and the ambush to the west of it. That night, Joshua went into the valley. When the king of Ai saw this, he and all the men of the city hurried out early in the morning to meet Israel in battle at a certain place overlooking Arabah. Arabah. Sorry. But he did not know that the ambush had been set against him behind the city. Joshua and all Israel let themselves be driven back before them. And hi, kitty. And they fled toward the wilderness. All the men of Ai were called to pursue them, and they pursued Joshua and were lured away from the city. Not a man remained in Ai or Bethel who did not go after Israel. They left the city open and went in pursuit of Israel. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Hold out toward Ai the javelin that is in your hand, for into your hand I will deliver the city." So Joshua held out toward the city the javelin that was in his hand. As soon as he did this, the men in the ambush rose quickly from their position and rushed forward. They entered the city and captured it and quickly set it on fire. The men of Ai looked back and saw the smoke of the city rising up into the sky, but they had no chance of escape in any direction. The Israelites who had been fleeing toward the wilderness had turned back against their pursuers. For when Joshua and all the Israelites saw that the ambush had taken the city and that the smoke was going up from it, they turned around and attacked the men of Ai. Those in the ambush also came out of the city against them, so that they were caught in the middle, with Israelites on both sides. Israel cut them down, leaving them neither survivors nor fugitives. But they took the king of Ai alive and brought him to Joshua. When Israel had finished killing all the men of Ai in the fields and in the wilderness where they had chased them, and when every one of them had been put to the sword, all the Israelites returned to Ai and killed those who were in it. 12,000 men and women fell that day. All the people of Ai, for Joshua did not draw back the hand that held out his javelin until he had destroyed all who had lived in Ai. But Israel did carry off for themselves the livestock and the plunder of the city, as the Lord had instructed Joshua. So Joshua burned Ai and made it a permanent heap of ruins, a desolate place to this day. He impaled the body of the king of Ai on a pole and left it there until evening. At sunset, Joshua ordered them to take the body from the pole and throw it down at the entrance of the city gate, and they raised a large pile of rocks over it, which remain to this day. And here's the interesting part, which I think is very important. I think it has some importance to it. Then Joshua built on Mount Ebal an altar to the Lord, the God of Israel, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded the Israelites. He built it according to what is written in the book of the law of Moses, an altar of uncut stone on which no iron tool had been used. On it they offered to the Lord burnt offerings and sacrificed fellowship offerings. There, in the presence of the Israelites, Joshua wrote on the stone a copy of the law of Moses. All the Israelites, with their elders, officials, and judges, were standing on both sides of the ark of the covenant of the Lord, facing the Levitical priests who carried it. Both the foreigners and the living among them and the native born were there. Half of the people stood in front of the Mount Gerizim, and half of them in front of Mount Ebal, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had formally commanded them, gave instructions to bless the people of Israel. Afterward, Joshua read all the words of the law, the blessings and the curses, just as it is written in the book of the law. There was not a word of all that Moses had commanded that Joshua did not read to the whole assembly of Israel, including women and children and the foreigners who lived among them. So, this was different. They had a different experience compared to what they had the last time. The first time that they went, when they took Jericho, they had specific instructions on how they were supposed to deal with things and how they were supposed to handle it. This time they were told to do it differently. The problem is this time they kind of messed up because someone did not do what was instructed of them by God. And because of that one mistake, they all suffered. Well, this time it was different. They were told, yeah, you're allowed to plunder the city this time. You're allowed to take things. You're allowed to keep those things. So it was a very different process. Um, there isn't a whole lot that I could glean from all this, but what I do think is important is the fact that at the end of the passage, at the end of the chapter, they are going through the covenant renewal at Mount Ebal. They're going back over the law of the law. They're going back through everything, talking about what's there, what's expected of them, what they're supposed to do. It's important. So, hang on a second. Well, anyway, that's pretty much all I got on that. Man, this thing's really loud to me. Sound. Bring the overall volume down, because it feels really loud to me. Oh. So, anywho. But yeah. Yeah, there wasn't as much as I didn't glean as much from this as I did with some of the other ones. But it is important to understand that when you go through things, it's important to know what God says. And there is a benefit to this because the law does not just say does not just talk about the law in the Bible does not just talk about um, sacrifices and things that you're supposed to do, rules and things like that. It's more than just that. There's a lot more to it than just that. There's the law tells us who we are, whose we are, and that we should remember. Remember who you are, whose you are, and what you're supposed to be doing. It tells us a lot of things. It's a very positive thing to keep in mind. Don't forget that you belong to the Lord and that you should be concerned with remembering these things. Who you are, whose you are, and where you came from. It's very important to remember what God brought you out of, to have an understanding that you have made progress, that life is not just all bad, because it gives you some hope. Because it gives you a point of hope. It gives you a point of, oh, yeah, life isn't all bad. And it gives you a definite angle for purpose. It's good to remember. Once in a while, you should take time to remember what God has brought you out of, what He's brought you from. And if you're living in the middle of something that's rough and it hurts and it's not good or it's painful or difficult, look back on where you have been and realize God has carried you through in the past and He's got you this far. And don't forget that life will get better. It's not all bad. And if you feel like I'm at the lowest point or this really couldn't get any worse, remember the only direction from there is up. Sometimes I got to remember that myself. Because sometimes I forget that same thing. It's important that we remember that no matter, even if things are bad, things can get better. Oh. That is almost guaranteed a set top lane. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I guess we'll do that. So never never forget those things. Never forget that God is there, he cares, and life may be hard now, but life can get better. Life will improve many times. And that you'll make it through. Wow, the sound is really loud for me. Gotta save that. Turn the volume down. Let's see. Let's do this one. Let's do Eclipse into Cleaver. Well, we'll see how this game goes. I've been playing a little bit lately. I've had a few good games recently, actually, playing mostly Scion. I had 3 really good games of Scion. I won all 3 games, and I was getting like 29 LP per win, which is like amazing. I've been mostly playing Helldivers lately, so it's been positive getting to have some good games after playing a different game for a while. It helps in some ways to get away from thing that you've been playing a lot and you feel like, oh, gosh, I'm never gonna be able to get anywhere in this game. So sometimes you gotta take a step back and just be like, you know what? Let's play something different for a little while. Oof. Getting lag spikes. I was gonna say, I'm like, why am I taking such a bad trade? Great. This set now controls the lane. Oh, another lag spike. Woohoo! Gosh, I'm gonna have to back. I'm gonna miss out on a bunch of minions. It stinks. Man, why am I getting such horrible lag spikes? My internet is not this bad. I have like 1 gig internet, and I'm getting these terrible, terrible lag spikes. Ah, man. Man. It's hard. Sometimes Come on. Thank you. The Feast of Warfare have been claimed. I'm not the only one who's done it. Man, this Teemo is being really, really toxic. Not sure what his deal is. Let's see. Set really wants to control this lane really, really hard. Gosh. Man, I can't get any help up here, can I? This is the problem. I feel like I'm, like, most of the time I am, like, not allowed to have a jungler gank my lane. Like, they just don't want, the junglers don't like ganking me. It's like, oh, don't gank for this guy. Never gank for this guy. Just don't gank for him. Because he just doesn't, he just can't be ganked. He just can't be helped. Gosh. Gosh, guys, he's so low. Why is no one helping? Man, I cannot get a jungler to gank for anything. I'm getting bullied in this lane really hard. And my dog's barking. Man, I'm gonna get bodied in this lane really hard. I can't approach this lane at all. I can't approach the wave. Okay, I've got a few seconds. I've had all those minions and could not collect only collected 2. Wow, this Teemo is really, really toxic. Like, I would love to stop feeding. I would love to not feed. Why am I lagging? Hey. Let's not get caught. Hmm. At least Yona's doing well. Excuse me. Yeah, you have 30 CS down. It's very hard to catch up. I'd have to lane swap. Finally, got some help. Yeah, Teemo can handle that. They're pretty much all bot lane. It'll be fine. Okay, let's get Cleaver. Yeah, we weren't gonna get it, no matter what. Hey, look at that. Minions are getting something done on the bot lane turret. Ooh, that's bad. That's not good. Well, I've denied the penta. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, there was no way. I greeted too hard. It goes over 50% down. Oof. Once I can get second item, I'll be doing much better. Never mind. Never mind. I won't bother helping. We're gonna have to find a different way to win. Because Katarina is becoming a problem. Hmm. Got something else to do, some survivability. That's not that great. Mob Malmortius is okay, but it's not good. No, I'm not surrendering. This game is winnable. Whoa. Never mind. Eh. I just need some time to scale. That's all. Just need time to scale. I got him. My problem is my teammate died. Not playing games with that one. I would like to wait until I could get the rest of my items, but you know. Probably should hang out with the sport for a little bit. Oh, lag spike again. Whoa. Maybe I should go for Maw. Yeah, maybe I should get Maw Melmortius. Might be a good idea. Yeah, I got bullied out of lane really hard, really fast. Made it hard. I'm surprised Seth isn't further along in his build than me. It's gonna be a hard one to win, if we even win it. There's no good way around this one. Teemo, why didn't you help? Teemo, we could have done that. We could have done it. Uh-oh. Yeah, Seth is a very strong champion. Yeah, there's no good way to do this. We lost. It happens. I'll honor those guys. They tried. Well, I think that'll be it for the night.